All right. Getting ready for a beverage filtration technician interview, huh?
Sounds like it's time to prep for some serious beverage wizardry.
You got it. We're diving deep with some RoleCatcher intel today, career guides, sample interview questions, and even how their AI can give you an edge.
Let's unpack it all.
So first things first, what does a beverage filtration technician actually do? Think about those crystal clear drinks we all love. Sparkling water, iced tea, all that good stuff.
Huh.
They don't just magically get that way.
Right. Behind the scenes, you have these technicians working their magic. They're the ones running the machines, clarifying the beverages before they even hit the filtering stage.
So it's like a whole process before the filtering even happens.
Absolutely. Think transferring fermented liquids, adding chemicals, pumping everything along. It's a hands-on role for sure.
Definitely sounds like you need some serious technical skills.
You need that attention to detail, and
Yeah.
you need a good understanding of how it all works, the whole beverage production and filtration process.
And what's cool is RoleCatcher highlighted how this field is actually projected to grow. Makes sense, right? Everyone wants high-quality beverages.
Definitely a career with a bright future. Now let's jump into those interview questions. RoleCatcher gave us some common ones, and, well, let's just say things get interesting. Ready to tackle them.
Absolutely. Bring it on.
Okay, first up, describe your experience with fat purification techniques.
That sounds a little unexpected for beverage filtration, right?
Might seem that way at first. But think about it. What they're really asking is, do you understand how to remove impurities to make sure you get a pure final product? It's about those core skills, you know?
So even if you haven't worked with fats specifically, you can still rock this question.
For sure. Maybe you had a chemistry lab where you had to separate compounds, isolate something specific. Even if it wasn't fat, the principles are similar. Highlight that attention to detail, how you follow procedures to get that high level of purity.
So it's about showing them you can get that perfect, clear product no matter what you're working with.
Exactly. Now, you got to be ready for those follow-up questions, too. Like, what kind of challenges have you faced during purification, and how did you handle them?
So they're looking for problem-solving skills, how you think on your feet.
Exactly. Have a story ready, something specific. Maybe a time in the lab where you had to troubleshoot. Adjust your technique to get better results.
Show them you're adaptable and you're all about quality.
Now, here's where RoleCatcher's AI can come in handy. Their interview practice tool is a game changer. You can practice answering these questions and get AI-powered feedback. It's like having a personal coach in your pocket.
That's incredible. Takes the guesswork out of prep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, question number 2. How do you ensure the safety of yourself and others when working with potentially hazardous chemicals?
Safety first. Always. They want to know you take it seriously, and you should.
Absolutely.
Think about everything. Protective gear, handling techniques, storage procedures, emergency protocols. It all matters.
It's about knowing the rules and understanding why they're so important, like material safety data sheets.
Yeah.
Can't forget those.
Crucial. Now, this is a great opportunity to share an example that shows your commitment to safety. Maybe a time you spotted a potential hazard, corrected it before anything happened.
Or went above and beyond to make the work environment safer for everyone.
Exactly. Proactive, that's what they want to see. And, RoleCatcher actually emphasizes this a lot in their career guide. It's not just about ticking boxes, it's about building a real safety culture.
Love that. Okay, moving on to question 3. Describe a time you had to work collaboratively with colleagues to achieve a common goal. Teamwork, right? Always comes up.
It's essential. And this question is all about gauging your communication, your problem-solving skills, how well you work as part of a team.
So what kind of story should we have ready?
Pick something vivid where teamwork was key. Maybe you faced a tough challenge as a team, had to troubleshoot a machine malfunction. Outline the problem, highlight your specific role, and emphasize that successful outcome.
Show them how you contributed, how you helped the team win.
Exactly. And be ready for those follow-up questions too, like, what did you learn from this experience about teamwork? How do you handle conflicts within a team? They're looking for that self-awareness, how you've grown as a team player.
Okay, before we move on to the next question, I'm curious about the typical career path here. RoleCatcher's guide breaks down the stages. Entry level, junior, senior. It's really interesting how the responsibilities change.
You start by learning the ropes, assisting with the basics, but as you gain experience, you take on more responsibility. Eventually, you could be overseeing entire operations, developing procedures, working with different departments.
And they even give you these little snapshots of what your career could look like at each stage. It's like, okay, I can see myself doing that in a few years.
Definitely helps you visualize that path, set some goals. And, RoleCatcher really emphasizes continuous learning, whether it's workshops, industry publications, certifications. That commitment to staying current is what makes you stand out.
Always learning, always growing. That's the key.
Exactly. Okay, back to those interview questions. Ready for the next one?
Absolutely. Hit me.
Lay it on me.
Okay, this one gets more specific. Describe your experience with analytical techniques such as HPLC or spectrophotometry.
All right, now we're talking technical expertise. HPLC, that's high performance liquid chromatography, and then you have spectrophotometry. Both of those are used to analyze what's in a sample.
Sounds pretty complex.
It can be, but even if you haven't used those exact techniques, any experience you have with analytical methods in a lab setting, that's relevant.
So it's about showing you understand the principles, you can follow procedures, get accurate results.
Right. Think back to your coursework, your lab work. What instruments did you use? What kinds of analyses did you do? What did you learn from the data?
So even something like titration or using a pH meter, that shows you have that foundation in careful measurement and analysis.
Absolutely. And don't forget to mention any software you've used for data analysis, statistical methods, all that.
Because it's not just about running the tests, it's about understanding the results.
Right, exactly. And they might ask about challenges you faced with these techniques. How do you troubleshoot when things go wrong?
So have a story ready. A time you had to figure out a tricky issue in the lab.
It shows you can think critically, solve problems independently. Okay, question 5. How do you prioritize and manage your workload when working on multiple projects simultaneously? The multitasking question.
Always a classic.
And super relevant for this role. A beverage filtration technician often has a lot going on at once.
They want to see if you can stay organized, focused, even when things get hectic.
So tell them about your system. How do you stay on top of everything? To-do lists, calendars, project management apps, whatever works for you. Talk about deadlines, prioritizing tasks, breaking down big projects into smaller steps.
And let's be real, things don't always go as planned. Equipment malfunctions, delays, all sorts of things can pop up.
Right. So be prepared to talk about adapting to changes, communicating effectively, staying calm under pressure. How do you handle those curveballs?
It's a mix of planning, flexibility, and a cool head.
And a real-world example always helps bring it to life. Maybe you had to rearrange your workflow for a rush order, or maybe you helped a colleague who was overwhelmed.
Those stories show you can handle the pressure and get things done. Okay, ready for question 6.
Hit me.
How do you stay up to date with the latest techniques and technologies in fat purification?
Fat purification again. They really seem to be focusing on that, even though we're talking about beverages.
I know, right? What do you think they're getting at?
I think it's about showing you can connect the dots, apply your knowledge in different situations. The specific substance might change, but those core principles, they stay the same.
So it's a test of our adaptability, our ability to learn and grow.
Exactly. And that's important in any field, but especially one that's constantly evolving, like the beverage industry. New technologies, new methods, new safety standards, it's always changing.
So how do we show them we're on top of it all?
Talk about your resources. What do you read? What organizations do you follow? Are you part of any online forums? Do you attend workshops or conferences? Anything that shows you're actively engaged in learning.
And maybe mention a specific technique you've been reading about, something you're excited to try.
Perfect. It shows you're not just absorbing information passively, you're actively looking for ways to improve, to contribute. Okay, ready for question 7?
Bring it on.
Here we go. How do you ensure the accuracy and reproducibility of your results?
This is all about quality control, right? Making sure those beverages are consistently top-notch.
Exactly. Whether you're measuring chemicals, monitoring filtration, analyzing samples, accuracy and reproducibility, those are key. It's all about ensuring quality and safety.
So what are some key points to hit when answering this question?
Well, meticulous record keeping is essential. Detailed logs, clearly labeled samples, precise measurements, all that good stuff. It all contributes to consistency.
And what about when things go wrong? When the results aren't what you expected?
Troubleshooting. It's all about figuring out what happened. Did you make a mistake in your calculations? Is an instrument out of calibration? Do you need to consult with a colleague? It's about being proactive in establishing those procedures and then being reactive when you need to address any discrepancies.
I like that, proactive and reactive.
Yeah.
And of course, a real-world example always helps.
For sure. Maybe you implemented a new quality control measure, or maybe you helped a colleague identify the source of an error.
Shows you take it seriously. You're committed to getting it right.
Exactly. All right, 7 questions down. We're on a roll.
Feeling good. But I know those follow-up questions can be tricky.
Hmm.
They really want to see how you think on your feet.
And you know what can help with that? RoleCatcher's AI.
Oh yeah, their interview practice tool. Tell me more about that.
You can actually record yourself answering questions, and then the AI gives you feedback on your delivery, the content of your answers, even your body language.
Wow, it's like having a mock interview with a super smart AI coach.
Exactly. And you can practice as much as you need to until you feel completely confident.
That's amazing. Okay, so we've covered a lot today. Interview questions, career insights from RoleCatcher's guide, and even their AI tools. What's next?
We've got a couple more questions to unpack, and then I'd love to touch on those networking opportunities that RoleCatcher highlighted. Building those connections, that's really important.
Definitely. Okay, let's dive back in. You bet. Okay, question number 8, and this one focuses on collaboration. Describe a time when you had to work collaboratively with colleagues to achieve a common goal.
Ah, teamwork. It's crucial in any field, but especially important in beverage production. Everyone working together, communication flowing, everyone aiming for that same target.
Exactly. It's not about being a one-man show. It's about being part of a team, making that positive impact together.
So when you answer this question, have a good story ready, one that really shows your teamwork skills. Maybe it was a challenging project where you had to troubleshoot some equipment problems as a team, or maybe it was about implementing a new safety protocol, or even just meeting a tight deadline. Whatever it was, outline the challenge, explain your specific role, and emphasize that successful outcome, how you all came together to reach that goal.
And I'm guessing those follow-up questions will dig a bit deeper into your teamwork style, how you handle those tricky interpersonal dynamics that always come up when you're working with others.
Absolutely. Be prepared for questions like, what challenges did you encounter along the way? Or how did you handle disagreements or conflicts within the team? And they might even ask, what did you learn from this experience about effective teamwork?
So it's not just about telling a success story. It's about showing them you're self-aware, you're a good communicator, and you're committed to finding solutions as a team.
Right on. Now on to the final question from RoleCatcher's list. Describe your experience with fat purification techniques.
Wait a second, haven't we seen this question before? It seems like they're really fixated on fat purification, even though we're talking about beverages here.
I know, it's interesting, isn't it? They've asked about it multiple times now. And honestly, I think they're trying to assess your ability to connect seemingly unrelated concepts to see if you can apply your knowledge in new situations. Remember, the principles of purification, of filtration, they're universal. The substance might change, but the core skills, those transfer.
It's like a test of how adaptable we are, how well we can think critically and apply what we know to a new challenge.
Exactly. So don't let those questions throw you off. Use them as an opportunity to shine, to show them you can learn, adapt, and grow. Those are qualities that are highly valued in any field, especially one as dynamic as the beverage industry.
Okay, before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to touch on something RoleCatcher emphasized in their career guide: networking. They really stressed building those connections within the industry.
It's so important in any career, really, but especially in a field like this one where experience and connections can open so many doors. It's about building relationships, tapping into that collective knowledge and support system.
So where do we even start with networking? Attending those industry events, conferences, those seem like great ways to meet people, learn about trends, maybe even get on the radar of potential employers. But for those of us who aren't exactly extroverts, that can feel a bit daunting.
Absolutely, I get it. Networking doesn't have to be this big, scary thing. Start small, Maybe join some online forums or groups related to beverage production or filtration. It's a low-pressure way to connect with people, share ideas, learn from others in the field.
And don't forget about LinkedIn. Connecting with people online, joining those relevant groups, even just sharing interesting industry articles, it all helps to build your network, stay top of mind.
It's about being present, engaging with the community. Networking is an ongoing process, not just a one-time event. The more you connect with the industry, the more opportunities will come your way.
So as you prepare for that beverage filtration technician interview, remember what we've talked about today. You've gained insights into common interview questions, explored potential career paths, learned about the importance of networking, and even discovered how AI tools like RoleCatcher can help you fine-tune your approach. Showcase those transferable skills, highlight your commitment to safety and quality, and let your passion for the beverage industry shine through.
And always stay curious. This industry is constantly evolving, so keep learning, keep networking, keep exploring new technologies and trends. You've got this.
Absolutely. One final thought for you to ponder. As the beverage industry continues to innovate, what new skills or knowledge do you think will become essential for beverage filtration technicians in the future? Keep that question in mind, and you'll be well prepared for success in this exciting, dynamic field. Until next time, happy filtering.